Notes for my February 2025 reading of Art of the Apology by Lauren M. Bloom. Today is Friday, 28 February 2025. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm going to talk through my book and reading notes for my February 2025 reading of a book about how to give and accept an apology. Art of the Apology, How, When, and Why to Give and Accept Apologies by Lauren M. Bloom. 2008 initial publishing. This is 2014 Fine Kahn edition, hardcover, ISBN in the video description. I started the book on Monday, 24 February 2025, and finished the book on Friday, 28 February 2025. It's 210 pages. It took me 5 days. Read 20 pages Monday, 60 pages Tuesday, 30 pages Wednesday, 70 pages Thursday, and 30 pages Friday. So it goes through a bunch of different elements, of different examples, be they real or not. That's not actually necessarily specified, but maybe it goes through a bunch of different scenarios on like different aspects of giving an apology and different things to think about, and kind of like, you know, how, what's the appropriate scope, what's the appropriate scale, what's the appropriate setting, what's the appropriate medium, like are you going to apologize, or is a person going to apologize through words, written, verbal, that kind of stuff. And so it goes from both like the giving and receiving side. It started off really great, and then maybe page 110 it kind of went downhill and pulled up a little bit, but then couldn't quite recover after that. So I give it 2 out of 5 stars, but it started off as a 5 out of 5 and then kind of declined about halfway through. And then let's see, I marked a few things, see if I have time. And it kind of addresses why some people don't apologize. And so page 64 is one of those where it talks about some people don't apologize because of being concerned about the person being that a person is apologizing to, using it against the person doing the apologizing. And it's then page 67, I thought this was interesting. So she brings up a lot of legal world, it being used in the world of legal apologies. And page 67 brings in documentation. So it's that's good. It's worth noting. There's a documentation level with apologies and stuff like that. So it's that's pretty serious. Yeah. Yeah. All right, page 87. Actually, and it was for my research group, in the future. I like this one. The author pushes for a formal peer review policy, including training of employees to prevent mistakes and that kind of stuff. And it's in my work experience in science/mathematics, research experience, school experience, it's called a standard operating procedure. Okay, page 149. She kind of gets really, you should do what I say, not what you do, kind of she's very opinionated. And one is she condemns the behavior of apologizing just because you think it'll help the situation. And I was I actually disagree with that. All right, as opposed to being sincere for it. And I was or thinking that kind of thing, or the behavior was wrong. I was no, there's actually, even if a person doesn't mean it, they were smart enough to figure out to say it, and if somebody else told them to say it, they still made the choice and decision to follow through and actually say it. So there is actual intelligence behind that, but she kind of fails to see that particular angle. And then page 181, it talks about forgiving oneself, and just don't forget to apologize to yourself, right, which kind of gets at, I think it was 2023, I put out a video on self-banning things, and I was if one wants to ban somebody else, do it with one's own self first. And she says that for apology. So there we go. And then last thing, in my life, what is one area where an apology from someone else may be due for my own actions? A typical example may be a supervisor apologizing for the actions of an employee, right? If there's somebody who's above somebody else and they make the decision for a certain action that's taken out, right, then the person who carries out the action isn't actually the responsible party, it's the person who made the decision. So I was my Leon, a Frenchman, gave me an idea for a title of a video that I used and someone found triggering. I was blamed/attacked by the other person, another person. Then the appropriate person to apologize may be my Leon, as I do not know if his actions were an attack on the person who attacked me. All right. So in a hierarchy, sometimes the person who should be giving an apology or deciding if an apology should be given is higher up, because the person lower down doesn't actually make a certain decision. So there we go. Those are notes from my February 2025 reading of Art of the Apology by Lauren M.